What's good? It's your girl Nikki back on the scene on these YouTube streets, and you already know what's going on. Jada Pinkett and August Alsina, young man, older woman. That was like a song that came out in the '90s. Um, I will say that I have had the experience of having a person that I wasn't necessarily, there really was not really a connection with as far as I knew I could have a future with them, but they were very attractive and the loving was good. So, the sexual connection was perfect. Um, but during the day, like, I just wanted to say hi. Like, if I saw them at the comedy club or at the bar or wherever, I just wanted to say hi. Like, and if I saw them talking to another person, it like really did not bother me because it was like, whew, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Because I already knew like that was like my human sex toy. You know what I mean? So I was never really tripping. But what happens when they catch feelings? Well, for one, for me, I've always been the person that would always put, I consider people's feelings and I put myself in that position. And I don't know, the bottom line is, I pretty much let them down easy. I do feel like August Alsina, he was young and fat, fragile. It did start off with good intentions, like, well, you can come kick it with us, you can come be with us. But, there was attraction there, and I felt like Jada had been neglected. And because she was neglected, she was vulnerable, and she gave in to her feelings. I really do feel like she gave him that auntie love, and when you give that auntie love, like that's that Freddie Jackson, Luther Vandross, Johnny Gill type of loving. You know what I mean? I want to say like even like back in the days where Bobby Brown was singing like "My Prerogative," "I Want to Rock with You." Those are very very sensual times where people definitely connected. Um, and a lot of times people have a really grand sexual energy. Like you could totally tell. You know what I mean? Like from across the room, all you gotta do is glance. If you have it and they have it, like all you gotta do is look from across the room and be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? You wanna experience it, you know. Um, and I feel like he had a younger energy. He had experience that auntie love, like. And I'm not trying to make it sound creepy, like a auntie like touching on a young boy or like a nephew or a kid or something, because that's not what I'm saying. When I say auntie, I'm thinking like of age, like 45 and older. Again, stating that they've experienced a lot of things in life. They're seasoned. They know what they want. And again, in the 90s, it was all about like R. Kelly. It was all about, you know, being sensual and sexy. We had like Shabba Ranks and oh God, we just had like a lot of Jamaicans and Pacific Island artists that were in full front, and they really, really added to the sex culture of the 90s. And it was really all about feeling one another and just going with the vibe. And it kind of brought the spiritual experience. And sometimes you, when you get it, it's in you, it's on you. You know what I'm saying? People can read you. They know. Those who know, know. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah. I've had an experience very much like that. Um, and the gentleman was just like chilling, you know what I'm saying, by himself, just sipping on a drink, and I was so drawn to him. He was by himself. He wasn't saying anything, but I was so drawn to him. I stepped to him. You know what I mean? He wasn't the most handsome guy in the room. He wasn't tall. He wasn't any of the things that most people would consider um, great attributes. You know what I'm saying? But he was just himself. He was confident in himself, and he carried that energy. And I remember one day I was looking at Insecure, and Issa was saying something about big dick energy, and he carried that. And I just felt like, we as women, we carry that too. Some of us. I want to say Erica Badu definitely has that. You know what I'm saying? Jada Pinkett, I sense that. You know what I'm saying? She has this very, very womanly vibe, and it's very present and very strong. And she knows herself. She knows her body. She's sure of herself. She's accepted everything she is and everything she isn't. And she's confident with it. And she knows how to play the cards that were dealt to her. And men, they find that sexy. When you know yourself and you're confident about who you are, they're like, who is that? Like, what do you do? Who are you? What do you do? And I don't know. It's like I went to a barbecue or like a party recently, and I'm very quiet. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm an observer. I like to scope out the scene. But people were asking me, like, who am I? What do I do? Am I on TV? I mean, like, they wanted to know about me, and I'm just like, I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to have me some champagne, or make a cocktail and just chill and vibe out. But when you have something about you, people are drawn to you. And I want to say that no matter who August Alsina was, who he is now, he was drawn to her. You know what I mean? And there was definitely a connection. I think she had a healing mother's presence about her. And I think he had that youth factor about him. Like, he's young and he's broken, but he's beautiful person on the inside. He's sexy, and he's that high school boy that you love. You know what I'm saying? To me, he's like the original Blueface. Like, Blueface, well, August has a lot more brains, but Blueface is a beautiful boy. Like, he's that boy that all the girls wanted in high school. And I felt like Jada was like more of a tomboy, and they would probably like kick it with her, or she'd be about the jokes or whatever, but she probably was a late bloomer. And I felt like there was definitely a connection, because he met her where she came short, as far as not having that high school experience, and having the funnest boy in school or in her youth, and because she's a late bloomer. And she met his needs because he needed someone that was seasoned, that had more of a maternal loving thing going on with them. But I really feel like he never had a real woman. You know what I'm saying? He probably knocked down thousands and thousands of chicks, you know what I'm saying, on the road, and had girlfriends. But it's just something about when you make that connection. It's just like, and you with a woman that really knows her body And I'm sure the old girl knew some tricks, you know what I'm saying? Like, you learn some tricks along the way. You learn your body, you know what it can do, and you know how to control some things. And when you get with someone younger, um, it could be really dangerous. You know, I've had people to, well, I won't talk about the things that I've been through, but I've known people to become very, very obsessive, very controlling, very jealous. Um, and it's like, it's really no joke. Like, you can't play with that type of fire. You got to be very, very selective. Um, it is a spiritual experience. Um, at times, it can be a soul tie. A lot of times, you take on their demons, or they'll take on yours. And after you lay with that person, it's amazing. But then you wake up like, I don't know why I'm a nymphomaniac, or I don't know why I can't sleep, or I don't know why I'm fucking depressed, or oh, I have a burst of energy, I'm ready to take over the world. Because sometimes, you know, it works in a good way where you pretty much sap their good energy, you know, and it's really, really no joke and nothing to play with. Um, he was broken and fragile, but I don't know who he or she has been laying up with, but let's just keep it a whole buck. In the earlier years, when he took pictures with Jada Pinkett, he looked great. He was a beautiful boy. He was, you know, at the top of his game. Everyone knew him. He was making performances, and he was releasing albums and singles. And over time, I want to say you saw him in the latest Angela Yee interview. We've gotten visuals of him in the past few years, and he looks as if he was sapped of his youth. He looked sapped of his energy. He looked sapped of his confidence. And wouldn't you know it, like, you look at Jada Pinkett on Red Table Talk, and she's everything that he's missing. You know, you have to be careful with who you lay up, you know what I'm saying, with, because it's like some, like, serious witches out here, like some straight witchcraft shit going on, you know what I'm saying. I know of this guy at my job. He was so nice. He was so nice, and I guess he got really comfortable. A Spanish guy, you know, from he was from South America or whatever, but he just got so comfortable in telling, you know, about his life to other employees. I hadn't heard about it yet, and he basically said that he was in South America, and he was paying to sleep with an 11-year-old girl. Now, this man is old, like 80 years old. I don't know how old he was when it happened, but it had to be over 50. And he knew that the family was so poor that they were pimping their daughter out, and he basically was having sex with her. And I want to say he's 80 now. He has to be 80 now. But when he walks around, he flirts with every woman. He feels youthful. He feels like, you know what I'm saying, he can get any woman that he wants. Hello, baby. How are you? Oh, how can I have a hug? Oh, you are my sweetie pie. I have something for you. Bringing flowers to women and everything. Like, you know, I believe part of it has to do with him doing what he did, and he sapped that girl of part of her youth and her innocence and life, you know. So I'm saying all of that to say, you know, watch who you lay with, you know. And now this guy is broken. August, he's broken. He's sapped of his energy. You could tell he's pretty depressed. Um, and like I said before, you look at the pictures of the way he used to look versus the way he looks now. Yes, sure, we all go through things, but no, this looks like some spiritual trauma, y'all. This looks like she ran through his ass, you know what I mean? And he's fucking broken, and man, it's really, really sad, and a lot of times people know what they got and they use it and they use you and they throw you away. And then you're left feeling empty, and then you're left to start from fucking ground zero while they get to live their life, and really, my heart really goes out to him. Um, if you take notice to look at what's been going on or how he transitioned, but you'll see a lot of broken down women out here very much the same way. And trust me, it's because some man has used them up. Um, I know I've been broken, I've been down before, but you know what? I had to go in prayer. I had to ask God, God, please restore me. Restore me. I had to choose wisely of whom I lay with. I had to, repent to God and ask him for restoration. Because I'm telling you right now, like, short story, like, I was living a really, really saved and holy life, like no sex. I would go on fast for months at a time, just dropping weight, ministering to people, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't know what I was talking about, you know what I'm saying? But they knew that it was God. And I would just minister to them. And guess what? They would be in tears. They would thank me and they would go their way. And honestly, I was just, talking to them. So a lot of times, you talk to a person, you could really reach them. But I met this one guy, and I'm telling you, it's just like the enemy knows what you like. He knows everything that you like. And he will send that, and he was everything I loved. He was tall, he was, basketball built, bald head, beautiful lips, just, he was all of that, and we talked and talked, and I knew I was turned on, but I said, I'm going to try to live this saved life. And then I tried to say, well, I'm going to talk to him, but I'm going to just invite him to my church, or I'm going to just talk to him, but we just going to talk about God. And it would start off talking about God, but end up in a whole another conversation that I should not have been having and should not have been entertaining. And those conversations started getting into my mind, and then before I knew it, it just, they were planted seeds and they began to grow, you know what I'm saying? And before I knew it, he agreed to go to church with me. He went up for prayer, and I was just like, oh, like, I'm really, really winning. God is winning him over. I'm winning him over. And maybe he'll get saved and we can be together, because I really, really like him. I really, really want him. And what ended up happening is after church, we went back to his house. And boy, I totally gave in, And I gave in after like a year of not having any type of sex. And I can't lie, like, I liked it. Like, I was addicted. And we were addicted to each other. And it went on and on and on and on and on for a long time. But when I went to church, y'all, to raise my hand, I couldn't raise my hands. And when I went down to talk to God, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't hear his voice, and I felt like he didn't want to talk to me no more. as far as prayer. Like, I didn't feel God's presence. And once I broke my covenant, I just felt like I felt horrible, you know? I felt so awful. Um, the power that I felt and the confidence that I had walking in Christ, it was like gone. Um, my joy was gone. I'm sorry, y'all. My joy was gone. You know, they said the word says the joy of the Lord is your strength. And I lost my strength. And then what ended up happening is I really was like, well, you know, I already did this. Let's just go ahead and be together. And he didn't even want me. He got what he wanted. And you know what he said to me? He said, I used to be in church too. He said, but I'm not into church no more. He said, I know what you want. You want me to get saved and be a man, but I don't want to do that. And he was just like, you know, I felt like I'm a tool of the enemy, you know. He says that he felt like he was sent to me to make me fall. And I fell for it. And after that, he didn't want me. And then I found out he had a girlfriend with a baby on the way. I found out a whole lot of stuff. Was it worth it? It was not even worth it. None of it was worth it. The virtue was gone, y'all. And I'm telling you, like, I don't know if you guys are Bible readers, but you know, Moses, he was the only one worthy to go up on the mountain, and God's light shined so bright that he had to wear a veil. And the glory from God would shine upon him so bright that when he walked and went back to tell the people what God had shared with him, his virtue was so bright that the people told him he needed to stay behind the veil. And when Moses messed up, the virtue was gone. But he was so embarrassed that he stayed behind the veil, you know, because he was embarrassed because the virtue wasn't there no more. And he knew once he removed that veil, people would see him for who he was. But I want you to know that I just had to forgive myself. I had to repent. I feel like I never ever felt the way I felt before I met that guy. And I want you to know that, like, this shit is real. Like, laying up with people, that's some real shit. Like, you know, you like a bad boy, you lay up with him, and then you want, I don't know, you want your eyebrow pierced, or you want a little tattoo here, or you find yourself doing things that you usually wouldn't do because whatever spirit was on them lay dormant in you, and then it comes to fruition a little later. You know what I'm saying? And you just have to be really, really, really careful. And I love August Alsina. And I want you to know I see his heart for who he is. I felt like he was vulnerable. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, he knew what he was doing, but there's a possibility spiritually he did not know what he was doing. And in the end, he lost, and he's broken, and she's running around here like with youth and zeal and tenacity and ambition, like she's just a new chicken and shit, when in reality she's the fucking old hen. I'm sorry, but I'm looking at things spiritually, you know. Don't get me wrong, that is fucking gorgeous. But I'm looking at things spiritually. And I'm telling you, if you, those who know. But those who don't know, please take heed. Don't, I know it look good. I know sometimes you're drawn to it, but I'm telling you, you need to run. You need to run the other way because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And, a lot of times I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. I just turn on the camera and I'll just start, chit chatting with y'all because, I have different things going on in my mind, and a lot of times, I wanted to start it off with, a lot of times older women are attracted to younger men, and younger men are attracted to older women because there's some sort of a balance there. Not nobody too old, but when there's like a gap, how like your little brother has friends and he likes the big sister, or vice versa, your older brother have friends and the little sister likes, you know what I'm saying, the brother's friend, but the brother is like, hell no, you ain't touching, that's forbidden, like forbidden fruit, and a lot of times when you both get grown, y'all see each other and you're just like, yeah, I want it. Like, I've been wanting it for a long time, and I think that that's kind of what it was a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, he's had time to grow up. He was probably a child and set it off with shot, you know what I'm saying? He's probably seen Menace to Society. And the poor boy probably have been fantasizing and going home and looking at her and looking at these old ass movies and fucking jerking off and shit. And he was just like, came back ready, but he didn't know what he was coming up against, okay? So just know that everything you do, what you do today can affect you tomorrow. Know that it is very spiritual, and spirituality is very real. I don't care if you believe in God or not. I don't care. Take heed to what I'm saying, yo. But you know what? And that unevenly yoked thing, it is very important because, like I said before, if you're dealing with somebody who ain't saved, or they're like backslid and they didn't let, you know what I'm saying, the 7 demons come back in their life and shit, and you're just like, but yeah, spiritually, y'all are drawn to each other on a sexual level, you better watch out, because you're going to be fighting some wars, okay? So, I'm Nikki St. Clair. I always go like 30 minutes or more, but I'm going to try to shorten my videos. But like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you care. And I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys so much for dropping by my page. All right? Peace.